Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at the top 100 greatest ever FPL managers, including their team selections, player ownership, transfer plans and more. As usual, we connected with one of the managers who's answered some questions including the tips behind his success, his Gameweek 12 transfer plans and more. If you want to keep up with what the greatest ever FPL managers are doing this season, don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the video. With the many millions of FPL managers, just barely 100 meet the criteria to join our list. The criteria to join this list is a minimum of 4 top 1k finishes or a minimum of 7 top 10k finishes. They are undisputably the greatest managers to have ever played the game, with a record to prove it. Their decision making, planning and understanding of the game is exceptional. We call them the Elite 100. That said, there's actually slightly more than 100, but to keep it simple, we'll mostly use percentages when going through their teams and moves. Let's start off with the Elite 100's team selections. By aggregating all of their teams together, we can arrive at a consensus team, which is a full squad of 15 players that they agree on having the most. One reasonable conclusion you could draw is that the higher percentage a player has, the more you should consider owning them. The Elite 100 template team is as follows. A formation change to 3-4-3 and 3 changes to the team. Foster drops out on goal and in comes Ramsdale, with exactly a third of the Elite 100 owning him now. Sanchez's ownership has also shot up from 29% to 52.9%, which could be attributed to the injury to Raya. Unfortunately, those 52.9% of the Elite 100 have a Sanchez suspension to navigate in Gameweek 12. In defence, somewhat undeservedly, Livramento drops out, however Reece James takes his place. Chelsea are third best for expected goals conceded for the season with 11.79 XGI, and have kept 7 clean sheets, which is the joint most of Man City. Havertz drops out of the midfield in place of Smith Rowe, who is in good form with 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games. Tony is now the most owned striker in the Elite 100 with 68% ownership. Antonio's ownership has headed the opposite way by 18% down to 64%. West Ham has some difficult games on the horizon along with further European commitments, so you can understand the decision. Cancelo's ownership is up 10% and he was the highest scoring player of Gameweek 11, so this should only continue to rise. This season, Cancelo is second after Trent for expected goal involvement among defenders on 3.44 XGI, and he's taken more shots and also more touches in the final third than any other defender. Heading into Gameweek 11, here's their transfer activity. A calmer Gameweek as 27% rolled their transfer to take into the international break, and 62% made use of their free transfers. A 10th of the managers took a -4 here, and a single manager took a -8. Before we take a look at the Elite 100's transfers, we caught up with Dan Bennett from the Elite 100 this week. He has a phenomenal 9 top 10k finishes and a further 4 top 50k finishes to his name. He's had a great start to the season, already ranked 70k, and has 2 transfers banked heading into the international break. Here's what he had to say. The first question was, what are some tips you can share behind your success? He said, my success is largely based on patience, risk aversion and planning. I think these are traits of many top 100 managers. It might be exciting to take regular hits to keep your team new and exciting, but it's unlikely to lead to a good rank at the end of the season. I'm a risk-averse person by nature, so picking the players that are statistically most likely to score points just makes sense to me. Playing the fixtures is also key. I tend to side with fixtures in the form versus fixture debate. I like to study the fixture ticker and plan future transfers using a spreadsheet planner, usually focusing on the next 6 weeks. I enjoy planning and reading a variety of FPL content. There's a lot of quality and entertaining content creators out there, and I think it's important to vary what you watch and read every week. That way you can take in lots of different views and perhaps learn something you hadn't previously considered. Finally, a lot of us will have been frustrated recently with lots of points on our benches. However, I think a strong squad might be beneficial during the busy upcoming period where we have 10 game weeks in 6 weeks. The next question was, who do you think will win the Premier League this season? He said it's shaping up to be a brilliant season and it looks as difficult as ever to predict the champions. I'd have to go with Manchester City though. Having won it 3 of the last 4 seasons, it would be brave to go against them. With City, Liverpool and Chelsea all pushing each other, I wonder whether we'll see any of them strengthen further in the January transfer window. Although from an FPL perspective, I hope not, as it might mean even more Pep Roulette and Tuchel Tombola. The next question was, if you could add a new chip to the game, what would it be? He said, before the free chip was introduced in 2017, we had the all-out attack chip, allowing you to play a 2-5-3 formation for one game week. Given the recent lack of performing strikers, it might be nice to have a who needs attack chip, allowing you to play a 5-5-0 formation for one game week. If Pep Guardiola plays without a recognised striker, maybe it should be an option for FPL managers too. The next question was, with 2 transfers banked, what's your transfer plan for Gameweek 12? He said, I'm really happy with my current squad and have a benching headache next game week as it is, so I'm struggling to decide on my next transfers. I had planned to do Saka to Son and may still do that. Spurs haven't looked great, but the next 4 fixtures are great on paper, so I'm hoping the fixtures can lead to some form. I'm likely to roll the second transfer as long as my squad can avoid injuries over the international break. And the final question was, what's your best FPL memory? He said, similar to a lot of FPL managers, having Aguero as captain for his quick-fire 5 goals versus Newcastle in 2015 is a particular favourite. But personally, my only top 1k finish in 2014-15 is my best FPL memory. I was ranked 686th going into Gameweek 38, but almost blew it with a poor final game week. Thankfully, it was Aguero's captain again with a solitary goal that got me over the line, securing a final rank of 917th. Thanks again to Dan for taking the time to come on this week's episode. If you're enjoying the video so far, please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to keep up with the top 100 all-time managers this season. Onto the chip usage among the Elite 100 next. In Gameweek 11, not a single manager activated their wildcard. Just 9% of them have their first wildcard left, and perhaps we'll see many activated over this international break. Interestingly, a single manager activated their bench boost in Gameweek 11. We've seen some of the Elite 100 use theirs in single game weeks this season, and there's certainly a debate to using it while we have so many good cheap bench options available, and there's still the option to free hit and triple captain in future double game weeks. On to the Elite 100's transfers. A wide spread of moves this week, the most popular being Diaz to James, which was a move made by 9 managers. Elsewhere, several Chelsea assets, including Azpilicueta, Mount and Havertz, were shifted on. Those who sold Havertz, Rafinha and Diaz will be disappointed as all 3 returned in Gameweek 11. Likewise, the 7 who got rid of Antonio for Tony will be discouraged by his 1-pointer, and that now makes it 7 games since he last scored. 3 managers chose Ramsdale as their Raya replacement, who kept an immediate clean sheet against Watford. Jota appears among the most popular transfers a couple of times and still looks an excellent pick due to Firmino's injury, despite his blank in Gameweek 11. We'll finish by looking at how the Elite 100 managers are ranking currently. Their ranks are categorised into 5 areas: top 10k, top 100k, top 500k, top 1 mil and outside top 1 mil. The percentages have been changed to cumulative totals, which makes more sense. Thank you to Luke for the suggestion. The breakdown is as follows. Not a huge amount of movement this week. After Gameweek 11, 3% of the Elite 100 are ranked inside the top 10k. The top manager is now Tom Kirkup, who took a very smart -4, which was Raya for Ramsdale and Mount for Smith Rowe. He moves up to 4.9k overall. Just shy of a quarter of the Elite 100 are within the top 100k already. 73% are within the top 500k, 88.7% within the top 1 mil, and 11.3% ranked outside the top 1 mil. That concludes this video on the Elite 100. We'll be following them closely throughout the season, so make sure you're subscribed to keep up with what the top 100 all-time FPL managers are doing this season. Thank you again to Dan for taking the time to answer the questions. Likewise, thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like the video. I read every comment, so let me know if you enjoyed it and what you thought of the Elite 100's teams.